do this. So hello there everybody and welcome back for another week of Wargames Tutorial Thursday with your host, your favorite Finn TMS. It's a weekly Q&A, FAQ, yada yada yada. Weekly news, community wargame, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Welcome to another week of these shenanigans. And without further ado, let's get to the news, shall we? Not much in grand scheme of things, however, there's a new roadmap for better audio system for the game, or rather better audio in general that they have been working on. So new roadmap for new audio. Pretty self-explanatory. There wasn't really much on it, but the grand scheme of things is to move from good audio to better audio. And yeah, that's more or less it for this week. There's just been some discussion going on, but aside from that, nothing else. Ah yes, we are facing the team FBW once again. It's me versus the world. Let's hope I'll have better luck this time. Or rather this week than I did last week with the whole CDRs being all like along with everything else. Where's the flashlight button again? There we go. But yeah, it seems like Powermonger is also streaming on his site. I can't remember his stream, but I think it's either FPW Powermonger, all lowercase, or just Powermonger. I don't know. I just had a notification on my second screen telling that he's going live. On a side note about this not the audio system, the whatever you call this thing, light system. You'd think that, you know, just because this is in the shadow, there should be still plenty of light so you can actually see what's in this. It's not that harsh of a light in my book. And weirdly enough, the sun is coming from there, but all these walls are casting a shadow all the way here for whatever reason. When in reality, shouldn't these be like actually reflecting the light? Maybe something to look into. That in particular should be a way that, you know, technically speaking, the light should be bouncing from there and in there, so there would be light for me to enough to see the box. Now that I think about it, the more you think about the whole lighting situation currently, the weirder it is. Well, technically, I suppose there's this whole sky is bringing light, so technically there is a light source behind the wall that is technically casting a shadow to the wall. But still, there's a direct sun, so to say, blasting from the sky that should be also blasting that wall. Well, Power, you had one job and you still did. There we go. Let's see, the closest pad is right around the corner. So I'll just play the waiting game. But yeah, managed to finally finish Airsoft video, the editing of it that I had for like, oh, I don't know, for so many weeks, for a couple months now. I just didn't have the motivation to really do it, but now it's done, and once I'm done with this stream, I shall upload it to my wonderful YouTube channel. So if you head over to the youtube.com/theobserverfin or observer, I don't actually remember, whatever, Autobog TV, youtube.com/Autobog TV. That the way you will find it. Or just search for Autobog TV. Or the Observer Airsoft, Observer Fin Airsoft? I don't know. I'll put a link in the description anyway. I know it is the fabled section that nobody knows of. Boom, headshot. Unfortunately for Giggles, his firing exposed him. Now the question is Wicked here? Wicked likes to stay put a lot. So all I know is he might be waiting for a perfect opportunity to get my yes. Oh, putting up excuses now, eh? Out of bullets, eh? Well, you should have thought about it before pulling the trigger, mate. Let's see. Oh, ow, son of a bitch. I knew there was someone on my tail. I really shouldn't be exposing my location like this, but who gives a damn? I have unlimited respawns. I think this is something that I ranted about last week. Like, or maybe it was I had to rant with my gun. Okay then. Instant kill. Basically had the whole discussion, I think, with my fiance about what I hate about video games these days. And the whole fact that it's like everybody's taking every single game so damn seriously. Like there is no fun involved. Everybody has to meta game in every game. I've had this whole thing before where it's like, yep. You have unlimited respawns and still you choose to just sit and camp for the entire game. You're just gonna hide there and do nothing. Even if you have no points, you're just gonna sit there and wait just so you don't die. It's like unlimited respawns. Why are you hiding? You're not losing anything here because you don't have anything. Basically, everybody is in a tournament mode every time. If you dare to play outside of the metagame, you are troll of the highest order. Especially in the MOBA. And it doesn't matter how good you are. It's irrelevant. I, for one, like, at some point, while playing Heroes of the Storm, I would mainly play Artanis, and it doesn't matter how well I played and something like that. Or I had my own specific build, and at the time I was also, I believe, rank 4, like top 4 Artanis EU. And people were still telling me how to make the builds and how to play Artanis. That is interesting. The draw distance doesn't bring the doesn't show you the cupolas from here, but it shows you where all the boxes are. It's also missing the water. Ow, ow, ow. And that's what I get for showing you around. You know, doing the what Gil, I believe it was Giggles the other day. But hey, that's something that the developers should look into, is that in some locations like that, well, obviously I couldn't test it just now, but you could potentially maybe shoot someone who's behind a cover, or maybe it's just a visual thing where it doesn't load it visually, but it's still, the hitboxes and such still exist there. Either way, that seems like something that is a potential exploit. And it would spawn me across the entire map. Well, guess I'll be heading to mountains then. Or simply head to Canyon then. I don't think Team FBW will be heading there. But there's always a chance. But I miss airsoft. I want to go to the field, but good lord, all I have had is work, and I have no energy for anything. As a matter of fact, I think I'm actually sick. I really should take a sick leave. But, I don't know. Like, I have a day off today and tomorrow, but I woke up 5 p.m. today, so that's like, what, 4 hours ago? Because I slept over like maybe 15 hours or so. So that's one of my day offs gone by simply sleeping. Yeah, not collecting anything. I'm in need of your scope, man. On a side note, I don't understand this bluish layer that's in the scope. Like, is that... Why does this red dot have it? The scope itself doesn't have it, but the red dot in the front of it does. Or technically it's a holographic. No, this is holographic side. I don't know, man, but it keeps me up at night. There we go. And they are not doing anything. Not even opening these for whatever reason. And that is why, because they are camping here. This is what I mean by the fucking metagame. There are no players in this game. There are no players in this match. And they still do full-on metagame. Like, there is no fun involved whatsoever. Gonna try and steal these points. And then move on to Luna.
Initiating satellite alignment. Local security systems unlocked in 60 seconds.
Now, where did our friend go? I guess he already took the points. No, not even that. Weird. My guess is that he heard me coming and decided to YOLO. And now let's go see if they have managed to take that box. Ah, they haven't, and it's on the other side of the map. Power keeps getting slaughtered in the ops, but that is not our concern. Well, I could go there after I get this, but yeah, he's been revived and he's dead again. This is a great opportunity for slaughter. I really shouldn't, but I will. Okay. Well, that just happened. It's like, oh, swapping the... Yeah, I shouldn't. Shouldn't have done that. Didn't expect the game go full ham on me. Okay, that... Wow. Just wow. What? Wow. Oh. Oh, I wonder where the points could be. I was thinking how greedy would I get? And the answer is too greedy. Well, I led him into his death from the judging from the sounds of it. And the worst part about back to the whole metagame discussion, the worst part is that this game just rewards you for metagaming the shit out of it. Like, for instance, if you squad up with people, let's say 4 people, and you get into a fight, since you have unlimited respawns, all you need to do is just sit there. If someone dies, just watch over their points until that person comes back and attempts to get their points back. There's nothing you need to do. You just sit there as a whole team and wait for the enemy to return. Or the enemy show themselves up. Basically, until the time runs out, you can just keep going there with the unlimited respawns, and nothing can really stop you. Because all you need to do is just sit there and, you know, essentially the player who just made a kill, the only hope he has is that the team doesn't have a vision on the thing, or that they are not in positions, and just quickly get out of there. But if the team is in positions, especially in ones that... Okay, why would that CTR go for me? And yeah, actually I think that's why, like, the more I play this game, the more I hate it, because these bullshit things that can be pulled off, like, because I'm not interested of teaming up with anyone, especially when there are no players to begin with, and then it ends up in the position where it's like the only team that is playing is metagaming the shit out of this game, and they are being rewarded for that. Let's see, I think mountains had the crate. And then there is that fucking bollocks. Like, there is nothing in this game that is interesting. Because you keep getting shafted left, right, and center no matter what you do. It doesn't matter how well you would play, or something like that. The game is like herp derp derp. As previously we just earlier noted, it took 3 headshots to the single CTR from point blank range to get any damage done to it. Meanwhile, it just comes over and casually slaps you to the face one single time. I mean, I get it. This is supposed to be dangerous thing. See what I mean? Like, when you have shit like that, I have no interest to play with the game. Like, sure, I miss them, but when I have to, with the pistol alone, get 3 headshots on the stationary target, I have no interest of playing a target that one-shots me, by the way. Especially by the time it's like, okay, well, sure, I won't just go there. I'll just go somewhere else and play the game normally. And then I get metagamed the shit out of me. There's no interest of playing this game whatsoever. And the problem doesn't disappear with the more people when we have multiple teams who are metagaming. So let's say there are 30 people in here. and 4 of those teams decided to go metagame because they are metagaming because one team is metagame. So now we have a single dead person from a single team, and we have 3 teams that are all metagaming over a same bag of loot. Nobody's moving, they are just waiting. Whenever someone dies, they reposition or hold their angle, and they'll just wait it out until the teammate comes back and let them do the assault. And the worst part is that the points are shared as a team as a whole. Meaning that, you know, even if you do wipe the... Like, yeah. That's, again, one of the things that just keeps rewarding you for metagaming the shit out of it. Is, you know, you team up, and it doesn't matter if you get wiped, you still keep 25% of your points. Because the loot isn't the points are not individually assigned to a player. They are completely shared with the team. What it essentially means, let's say something that has happened before, is that I have 30,000 points. I die. I come back to take my points, let's say to a CTR, so I get a respawn. And a 4-man team, just one person from a 4-man team happens to come across it. They pick up the points. They have no points whatsoever. I kill that person. Let's say they're a 4-player team. So one would imagine, alright, so he, you know, by the proper logic, he should have all the points. I should get my 30,000 points back. Nope. I get only 25% of it. So, okay, let's lower that to 20,000 points, so it's easier math for me. Is that now, instead of the 20,000 points that the guy picked up 20,000 points, I kill him, I only get 5,000 points back. There's no logic in it. Like, all the ammo isn't shared by the team. Nothing else is shared by the team. Why are the points? That also means that things like... if say I have 30,000 points, somebody wants to team up with me, if I accidentally join with them, or, you know, just chill, okay, for these ones, let's do it. I join in, the points get shared, and then he leaves the team. He walks away with 15,000 points for, you know, fooling me into a joining team, or accidentally me just simply hitting the join button. Because I don't think there is a I don't think there's a decline button in this menu here. There's only join. So if somebody's sending you a request, you can't cancel it out. I could be wrong, but if I remember correctly, that is the thing that I might remember. I don't know. But either way, why would someone who just joins the team get the points? Or rather, why are the points exception to this whole rule? Granted, if there were points, like if the points were actually something that are assigned to a player, one player specifically, then we would see probably the next metagame is that the 4-man team has one single player just sitting in some obscure location, and he's the one holding all of the points. Essentially a cow. He's being fed with all the points, while the rest of the team always come to him, die in front of him, and he picks up the points. Now, well, that strategy in its own, I'd be fine with, because it actually they would have to relocate the cow every time when someone dies, because you actually get to see them on the map. Then again, it's gonna be so quick. It's gonna be so quick that you won't know the location. You'll only just know the map. So they might already be aiming at the ground. They know where the bag is gonna be. So the moment the friendly dies, he has already picked it up. So the blip never shows up on the map anyway. Now this is something. Why would it call it a cow or anything? That's actually something that people did in Return to Castle Wolfenstein. Had a rifles only thing where every time you kill someone, they would drop a gold bar, and you would pick up the golden bars, and you'd like that's what it was essentially some sort of capture mode. You'd pick up the gold bar, and then you would go to a checkpoint, basically a flag, touch the flag, and you would score the points for your team. And more the gold you had, the more points you would also score for the team. Like, you would get a bonus, but at the same time, more gold you carried, the slower you would move and jump, because you would become heavier. So what they would do is that right next to the flag that would capture, where you would touch to capture the gold for your team, there was a small booth, and inside that booth there would be always one player who that everybody would go to and then kill themselves in front of him to essentially deposit the gold for the cow, who could barely even move because of all the gold. And right before the end of the match, they would try to, well, the cow would start taking the few meter steps towards the flag and make one giant point post in the end. But of course, sometimes enemy would get lucky and spot, you do your best to defend your cow, but sometimes the enemy gets through the lines and snipes the cow in the middle of the whole way, about to touch the pole. Very easy, almost stationary target, because they would be so slow. But yeah, I'd imagine that would be the next thing happening, as the quote-unquote metagame, if the points were assigned to a single person. Somebody would be the cow, who would always be the one hiding, and the rest of the players would be just simply feeding to the cow whenever it's safe. Afterwards, they would just revive him. Like, yeah, you kill yourself, the cow picks up the bag, you revive the player, and you're good to go once again. But yeah, I hate metagame, because in grand scheme of things, the metagame essentially is do the cheapest thing, get the cheapest the cheapest possible strategy is always the metagame. And when it's the cheapest possible, yeah, it just means there are no enjoyment on the game whatsoever. Nobody cares about actually having fun, because everybody only cares about winning by using the cheapest strategy that they can come up with. Wait, where am I going? I was looking at the wrong damn thing. Wasn't paying attention. I was blinded by my rant. More or less, yeah. I'd say the quote-unquote golden age of gaming is long gone. Because no matter what game you play, it always turns into a meta game. Like, even if you were to play custom games, there's always someone who just does the cheapest strategy that they can come up with. Like, I remember back in the Halo Reach, which is, by the way, coming for PC, which is awesome. Can't wait for it. I will get it as soon as possible. And I remember there was infection game mode and a map that utilized it was, well, the game mode itself wasn't anything special, but it utilized the entire Forge World map essentially, and it had some obstacles for people to. I think there was a goal that it didn't. I remember some of the maps had like a goal that if the survivors reached, they would win, but I don't think that particular map had any. However, it had, like, I suppose, a defensible position in the end. Like, that was almost suicidal for the infected. But anyhow, so it's a custom game, nobody gains anything from it. But it would always, there would be people who, all as a survivors, always did the cheapest possible strategy. They would go into a hole that is virtually impossible for the infected to actually breach. Like, the only time they would be able to do so is if the guy is reloading, and even then it would be lucky if they did. Assuming the guy is alone. If there's 2 or 3 people there, then it's like, yep. No can do. While as, because you know, the weapons already killed, like the pistol killed the zombies with a single headshot. So you can imagine if the infected are that weak, and you go into a stronghold that has essentially a corridor that forces the zombies to get in with no cover whatsoever. Essentially giving a free headshots to the survivors, then it's like, yeah, they can't do anything. It's not fun, you're just metagaming the shit out of it. And it happens even when you're playing custom games. People will metagame no matter what. They will do the cheapest possible strategies every single time. I, on the other hand, for me, the best part was to actually stand out in the open alone instead of in a group with people, because the zombies actually had high speed and low gravity, so you would never sort of know where they would. You have to keep your eye out on the distance, what is the path that they will take, and you'd have multiple zombies coming from different directions, and I'd hold them off with a pistol. They'd be sliding up and down. And all sort of jazz. I think he's actually reviving them now. Oh no. Whatever. Let's hope Giggles isn't around. I'm fairly sure he is. Yep, there he is. But see, that's essentially what I meant with the metagaming. And I don't blame him, because, you know, it makes sense. If you hear an enemy, or know that the enemy is nearby, why would you move and expose yourself? But that's also the problem, because, you know, that's all the game is now, is people don't do anything else. And this is also another thing that I mean, is that all he needs to do is sit there and wait for his teammates to come by. Like, good God, what has happened to fucking people having fun? It doesn't matter if you're custom game mode or whatever, like, even if the points didn't matter, the people would still do this stupid shit. Like, it's essentially people are making it into a comp stomp, essentially. Like, the infection thing where I said that you'd go into a place where it's virtually impossible for the zombies to even get you, who are played by players. It's just a comp stomp if they have a single corridor to try to assault you in and they just keep dying in it. Where is the fun in that? If the enemy doesn't even have a chance, you're just sitting there and farming. Like, there's nothing there.
Alert. Industrial. Drop rate. ETA 60 seconds.
And that's why I hate the game these days, because no one is interested of actually playing the game. Like, no one gives a shit. It's just the winning that is important. No matter what you do, just the end goal is to win. Doesn't matter how cheap the strategy is or whether you're having fun or not, actually. It's the winning that matters. And you might be saying, no, that's not true. But in the grand scheme of things, you can pick any game at all, especially a card game. Go play Hearthstone or whatever. That's the first thing that comes into my mind. I play a 40k version of basically Hearthstone, and I can't remember when was the last time I actually played against a deck that isn't some sort of meta deck, or something that isn't constructed by internet by someone with you know, a full-on strategy guides and, you know, something like that. Basically, a deck that isn't as cheap as possible. Something that people actually put together on their own. Even on a chat, when there's a completely new player, they ask, the first thing first is who's the best hero essentially to play as, and followed by what is the best deck. Nobody's interested in making their own. People just want to make the best, cheapest deck that will win. Who gives a fuck if you're playing with your own deck? Doesn't matter, so long as you win. And that's what I hated. I have my own deck. I'm doing just fine. I never looked any guide or anything, and it's definitely not the best warlord or hero. I did the same with Hearthstone until it became practically impossible to play with the, because I was playing warrior, and really unless you played a meta deck with the warrior, or rather you only had like a one build to go with. If you didn't have it, you wouldn't be able to do anything because the cards, that's the only thing you got new cards for, and those cards were the only ones that would be even remotely standing a chance. Stand a chance against anything.
Alert. Lunar alignment initiated.
But yeah. I'm returning back to Ragnarok Online, and I'm already, the guild that I'm in, sorta, is already doing the whole metagame thing. Sort of. I have my own build, and when I presented it to the guys, I was instantly being told that unless you have this one stat, you can't play War of Imperium. Because I need immunity to stun. Which is fair point.
60 seconds.
It is indeed a fair point. But it goes to show you, it's a metagame. I know specifically that I can play. It's not optimal, because it's not part of the meta. But you can do just fine with the build I have.
Congratulations, candidate.
And that ends our rant for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, guys. See ya.